So, I have now become a person who, in order to get a thumbnail, will go to Target and purchase things for said thumbnail. I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. I used to just take a picture from the video itself, but apparently that's not good enough anymore. What is happening? What is happening to me? Anyway, evolution of a YouTube thing. Evolution of a booktuber. Fun. At least it's something I will eat. So that is exciting. YouTube changes you. One day, you're just a person with a library card and a questionable number of books on your TBR pile. And the next, you're standing in Target debating which frozen waffle is going to be thumbnail worthy enough to convey Pawnee-ness, as well as delicious the next morning for breakfast. This is what happens when you go down the content creation rabbit hole. You start seeing props instead of objects. Your entire reality gets filtered through the "how would this look on camera" lens. Existential crisis aside, welcome to January's notes to myself. Let's talk about what worked, what flopped, and what I probably overthought way too much. I find it really interesting to target what new skill I want to learn with each new piece of content. I know that's probably backwards, but I tend to start with, this is what I want to play around with. What's the content that's going to let me do that? And that just seems silly. But it's how I'm approaching it. And so far it's working. Just in terms of like my own development. Vlogging feels something like the final frontier, or at least a questionable life choice worth investigating. So, like a toddler refusing to nap, I insisted that maybe this time would be different. The good news, I did get better at capturing moments without overthinking them. The bad news, I still feel like a creep filming in public. So progress? I like to vlog. I have a vlog that I'm trying to pull together, so I have to get some footage. I hate it.
Well, then why are you doing it?
Because I need to try it.
Oh.
I need to follow through.
Well, why?
But vlogging, oof. I don't know that I love doing it. I don't know if I'm any good at it. But I think if I do it again, I'm going to have to do it again. And I'll have a much better sense of what to do with it. So, I think this might actually also be the second bit of footage that I film in a Target parking lot. Super fun. January was a month of experimentation, which is kind of a fancy way of saying, what if I tried something new and immediately regretted it? But that's growth, right? So I dipped my toes into some different formats, pushed myself to edit in some new ways, and let myself lean into the chaos. Some of it worked. Some of it made me question my ability to make decisions as an adult. But what I keep reminding myself is this: that not every experiment has to be a success to be valuable. Sometimes the flops, and oof, there were many, teach you just as much, if not more, than the wins. So here's to more strategic chaos moving forward. I've been taking some risks on my YouTube channel recently. The first of which is the Alice Munro video, which was painful to script. The Alice Munro video was really me trying to think through some stuff, some crap that I have been thinking about for a while. And the December 23rd New Yorker article was just the straw, I guess, that pushed me. Gosh, everything is just falling. That pushed me into, okay, this is something I can make a video about, I think. And the reception to it's been really good. It was a heavier topic, both for viewers and for myself. But I appreciate the way that people have responded to it. I didn't know if it was gonna go that well, because it launched and I happened to watch it launch that morning, that Saturday morning, and immediately, like, my counter went to, my view counter went to 1, and then my subscriber counter, like 2 seconds later, went down 1. And I was like, okay, all right, okay. But the other feedback has been good. It's been some really good conversations around heavy topics, around a very heavy topic. I don't know that I have the bandwidth, the emotional bandwidth to do, I don't know how commentary channels do that. I feel like that would take up so much bandwidth. Like, it would be painful. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you just become immune to it. But it has been a really good spot for some good conversation. So the other kinds of risks that I've been taking is I've been thinking about 5 books in particular. That's one of my shorts buckets. They used to be among some of my highest ranked videos, and slowly that has tapered off. And so I've been trying a different kind of approach with, the fancy book transitions. And before it was just me having them in a pile. You can see their spines. I would flip them, and then I went to trying to play with some of the book transitions, and that was fun. It was kind of a thing to see if I could do it. And then I moved into working with, like, moving backgrounds, and then prompt here, or text here, book in the middle. I'm interested in how to continue playing with that particular content bucket to see what's possible, to see how they could possibly be more engaging. That's really interesting to me. So I've been doing that. I always joke that my dogs need to get a job because they are expensive. So I've been making 1 or 2 shorts around Phyllis finds. Phyllis is my elder dog, and Rhoda recommends. It's a really interesting challenge to play with in terms of scripting in a different voice, and then, like, dogs take minimal direction, right? Like, they're sitting and that's about it. I can challenge them to, or ask them to move their heads based upon, where that treat is that I'm holding. So you'll watch maybe those shorts and you'll notice that Phyllis and Rhoda are both shaking. And it's not because they're scared, it's because they want the treat, but they're trying so hard to be good. And they also don't know why I have the camera in front of them. I've been playing around with sound, and not like the sound in the video, but like the Gracie Abrams, The Wicked. Gracie Abrams was a background sound to a 5 books short. And then I also did a short with the Wicked sound from Popular in the movie, which, like, within the first hour, that one weirdly hit like 400 views and then kind of trickled in throughout the rest of the day. And that's interesting because I'm trying to figure out also, like, both what can I do? Like, what are the things that I am capable of within this? I need to move this ribbon because that should get packed away with Christmas. What am I capable of? But also, like, what is resonating, right? Because you want to persuade people to spend some time with your video. You want to, just as you want to persuade people around your argument or pull them into your fictional world. Like, that's what that job is. And video is just a different way to do that. So I have been really trying to play with and be intentional with framing and zooming in and zooming out. And that's what I'm trying to get a better sense of. Because it feels like there are certain ways that I can build an argument when I'm writing, but I'm trying to think through like the rhetorical moves of a video. So risks are happening. I don't know that they're necessarily like if they feel like a one-off, chances are that's just me experimenting and seeing what happens. I don't know that I will be singing along to Wicked very often. I don't know how excited I am about that, but it was fun to do in the moment. And it was fun to figure out how to, in 7 seconds, synchronize myself with the song, build out the clips, figure out what the storyline was. Like, that was interesting. That was a fun, like, hour and a half of my day. Moving on. It's only mid-month. We'll see what the rest of the month holds. It's gonna be good. Got a little money for Christmas. Invested it in an Osmo. Do we like it? Do we not? More importantly, like, what can I do with it? This is the question. So we're just gonna play with it, and it's gonna look dumb for a while because I don't know how to. I'm learning. If YouTube analytics were a person, they would be that friend who gives you constructive criticism you didn't ask for. Oh, you gained subscribers, but at a slower rate than last month? Interesting. It's like, thank you for that unnecessary observation, YouTube. Truly. But in all seriousness, I have been trying to navigate the psychology of growth. When you go from a huge spike in subscribers to a more normal pace, your brain starts panicking like you left the stove on and you are 4 hours away from home. I also had to remind myself multiple times that steady growth is still growth. The dopamine-fueled highs of rapid numbers are not the metric for success. Consistency is. Growth is. Which is fine. I mean, I'm totally not still refreshing my analytics like a stockbroker in a market crash or anything. Nope, not at all. Not me. Look elsewhere. That is the tag that Evening Reader, when she so kindly called my channel out in her video, Nick, what am I trying to say? So that's when that video came out, was right around this time in December. And so that led to a really quick growth in audience. And I talked in the December notes to myself about, you know, once that kind of settles down, you go back to like normal growth patterns, you're like, what am I doing wrong? And so it's been interesting a month out, because when I look at analytics now, and it's like your subscriber count growth is, 12% less than normal. And I just find discourse like that. I find some of the discourse that YouTube uses to be really fascinating. Because when I first read that, and that popped in yesterday, maybe, it's been a couple of days. So yesterday, the day before, where it started saying, oh, hey, this is below normal. And at first I was like, what? And then realized what it was referring to, realized like temporally what historical event it was referring to. What it was referring to was that anomalous bump that I received when my channel got mentioned. And then again, we're just back to normal growth. But because of the longitudinal nature of that data, it
the analytics reports that as a negative number, even though, like, if I'm thinking about average growth, that continues to be, I'm actually a little bit higher than what I was before.
I would like to formally announce that I am at war with CapCut. We've had a good run, but this month it decided to turn on me like a villain in the third act of a movie. So I started experimenting with Premiere Pro, and let me tell you that nothing humbles you faster than opening up a professional editing program and realizing you have no idea how to do anything. CapCut may be out to get me, but at least it had the decency to be user-friendly. I am looking at you, Adobe. So now I am in full-blown tech crisis, trying to decide between convenience and control. I think we're going to err on the side of control, but thoughts and prayers would be appreciated.
Oh, TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. However, I knew that CapCut could be affected by the impending TikTok ban. And so, like, did all the things that I should have, did all the editing that I needed to do, and then exported what I needed to export. And then the audio was just messed up, and I can't. And so now it's Monday, the 20th. I should know that date. It's Monday, the 20th, and it's back up and running now. But after 2 days of just sitting with Premiere, trying to relearn how to do basic things, or try to figure out how to do basic things in a new system, like, I'm just burnt. I am just crispy. So I'm stepping away. I will come back to that video because it needs to get done, because everything is filmed. I just need to figure out where stuff is going wrong, because of course I can't just do a tag where I sit in front of the camera. I mean, I've done those, but that's not this one. So I've pretty much got the Familiaris vlog ready to go. That one is in Premiere because I am trying to learn that. Like, I do think for longer projects, I need something a bit better than CapCut. CapCut is fine for like shorts and things, but like I said previously in notes to myself, it makes it too easy. And because it makes it too easy, there's not as much fine control over stuff. And so I definitely want to spend some time figuring out Premiere, but I don't know that a 2-day crash course was ideal. Kind of where I'm at right now is with that end of year tag, it might just be easier to refilm. I don't know. I'm gonna figure out what the glitch is. I would love to blame this particular glitch on CapCut, but I don't think it is. I actually don't know where this glitch is coming from. But if this looked weird to you in my end of year tag, it looked weird to me too. The entire initial video was out of focus. And so I tried to enhance the image in all the various ways that you could, but ended up with this weird AI face that was kind of terrifying, if I'm being honest. But I can't figure out what my camera settings were doing. But all this to say, sometimes plans just don't go as well as they could. And if this isn't your full-time job, then stuff goes awry and you're kind of screwed. I think the goal moving forward is to familiarize myself enough with Premiere that I can pull something together that I could leverage that system to do what I'm trying, what I did in CapCut. But then again, CapCut lost half my audio, so it's not that that wouldn't happen with Premiere. I don't know. This is again one of those things where like my taste is definitely ahead of my skill set, and it's frustrating when you can't make them meet. I think moving forward in like February, I'm going to want to rethink how I'm approaching long form so that I can build in that practice with Adobe Premiere while also there's some balance there. There's some balance there, but I'm just tired. It has been 2 days of not freaking out, but just feeling stressed about something that I want that makes me happy. Like I do feel really good about the fact that I know all this stuff about Premiere now, but I also recognize that it's such baseline stuff. Such baseline stuff. So yay for growth, but also, oh crap. Like you want to put out a video. What are you doing? What's going on? So it's fun. I hope that you're not hearing that. All right. It's enough with my kvetching for today. I am just now finishing up editing on my Familiaris video, which I thought I was done. And had uploaded it while I was at work, while I had access to higher speed internet, and then realized that there were all these pieces that I needed to still edit out. So I literally had to re-edit the entire last section. I can see why people would burn out. This is also probably the most complex video I've ever done. It was over 100 gigabytes of video, over 6 hours of footage, script writing, voiceover writing. It was a lot, and it's in no way perfect, but I think it's not a terrible first go, and that's not meant to be like a, look at my craft shelves back there. That's not meant to be like a, oh, tell me how good this is, because I mean, it's passing fair. It's fine. I just wanted to see if I could do it. And now that I've done it, how can I make it better? Here's how I can make it better. By choosing a single editing software, just go with it. Because crud, this is exhausting. But we're learning. And now I just need to get caught up on stuff. Thankfully, this coming week is a little bit easier. I should be able to get the end of year tag finished and up. So hopefully that will get me back on target. And then I'm going to need to rethink release schedules in February. Because I like the long form, but doing more complicated work like this requires more time. And so I need to either reduce the amount of load, or I need to reduce or change my release schedule. So I'm going to think that through. CapCut and I are about to break up with each other. Like, massively hard. It's lunch. I'm here at the office working through my lunch to get the video finished up, and CapCut is just messing with me. They've got this thing called compound clips, which is supposed to allow you to cut everything together. If you have all these multiple layers, it's supposed to condense them temporarily, and then once you make cuts inside of that compound clip, it makes cuts through all of them, but instead it's duplicating all of them. And I wanted to play with multi-camera stuff here, which it's not great, but it's a start. At least I know, having done it, what I will do differently for the next episode. But it's not when it exported, it messed up. So I am just frustrated. I think this is going to force my hand in terms of moving to Premiere as quickly as I possibly can. And I can do basic stuff in Premiere now, I feel. So I'm just going to start moving everything over there. I don't even know that it makes sense to keep CapCut for shorts anymore. I would rather not know how to do something and be working toward figuring out how to do that than having it be really easy like it is in CapCut, but having it be kind of a mess because you don't have actual control over what you're doing. So yes, easier, possibly saves time, but I can't fine tune. Not even fine tune. These aren't even fine tune things. These are like gross, larger things that I need to be able to fix because it's just so frustrating when there's multiple layers. It messes up one of those layers, and then you have to figure out how to fix it. So for instance, let's look at this right now, where nothing here is actually matched up. It's a wreck. It's slow-mo. There's nothing on. It's just, yes, you heard me. Crazy. But if you look at the master file for that clip, it's fine. So like if I go back to the clip in the editor that I exported to do this, it's fine. So what the deep fried butter is going on here? I think it's just it's um just very clear and apparent. I need to not be doing this in CapCut anymore. I feel like the last update like makes it really, really hard for you to actually do anything. So I'm gonna get my lunch on. Um, and I've got about half an hour. I've got a couple of things I need to do. I've got my list of things I need to do that CapCut has screwed up several times, and then get it ready to upload. So where we're at, CapCut is just not my friend. Not my friend anymore. When did it start hating me? It's a great question. Great question. But anyway, gonna go do the lunch thing and then go run and then go back to work. I'm gonna get as much use out of this background as I possibly can. It is February 6th and I'm gonna wrap up with some numbers and check in on my goals really fast. Let's talk through numbers, because numbers are one way that we can be thinking about things though. In terms of long form videos, I had 19 in December, and as of today, I have 29, but that includes the Spines and Sparks episode 2, which was a February video. So technically, I did 9 in January. I'm very happy with that number. Shorts, I went from 122 to, I have 155 right now, so that was an additional 33 shorts. My goal was to have 1 short a day, and I was doing okay until the very end when I started having all of the massive editing problems that happened, and I missed 4 days. Didn't succeed with that goal for January, but it's okay. Sometimes we shoot for goals that we don't make, and I came close. I'm okay with that. I ended December with 205 subscribers. I now have 331. As always, thanks to anyone who watches, leaves a comment. I appreciate you. Truly, truly appreciate you. Over the course of January and a little bit of February, I had 12.2 thousand views. and a little over 200 hours of watch time. Those feel like good metrics. It's where we're at. It's where we're at. Trying not to fall into the, oh, you want this to be higher. It's fine. This is regular growth. So my goals were, I already mentioned shorts. I wanted to publish a short a day. Ended up faltering on that towards the end for a couple of different reasons, but I think I've streamlined a bit. One was I never actually got around to planning what those shorts were. So it was very much a just in the nick of time situation. I didn't have many banked, and that just caused stress. So I've learned that if I'm going to have a goal like that, I need to have that plan in place. I also stopped doing the thematic thumbnail at the end of every short, and I've stopped doing that. Partially because it took time to do that, and it was getting in the way of actually getting the shorts done, because it was that additional time that didn't really make the quality of the video any better. It was just there for the aesthetics of my channel page. I'm okay with that not being a thing. So going into February, back to a short a day. If I miss a day, great, I can make that up later. But the other thing that's been interesting is once you fall out of the algorithm, once they're like, oh, this isn't consistent anymore, it does take a bit to get back into it. That's been interesting. Learning. Switching up long form, I did 2 videos per week in January, and for the most part, I was pretty successful until the very end when things went a little bit awry. Not only with editing software, just with life. Life is, whew, as I said in my January wrap up, 4-alarm fire. I'm going to back off a little bit, and go to 6 videos a month. That will be the goal. 6 long forms, which I think will give me some space to continue doing some of the tags. I've got a backlog now. Some of them I have concepts for. Others I'm still working on. So we'll see how that goes. And then trying to figure out what my editing process is going to be like as I shift into Premiere full time. I've got 2 final projects that I need to do in CapCut, only because getting them moved over to Premiere is too much work. I'm just gonna finish them out in CapCut, and whatever they will be, they will be. But going forward, Premiere Pro is where we're at. That's kind of how that's going. Goals. February. 6 long forms over the course of the month. Every Tuesday, every other Thursday, short every day. I've planned a little bit better, so let's hope. Then the majority of it is going to be behind the scenes, thinking through editing process. So, how's your YouTube channel? How are things going? How are you grappling with like the algorithmic anxiety? It's real. It's so real. But I think it's important to keep in mind that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. We can't control things like subscriber counts. We can control the content that we design. We can control the consistency with which we post that content. And like, that's what we have to be okay with. Good month. Really, it was a really good month. So as always, if you've made it this far, even if you haven't made it this far, I appreciate you. And I hope life is good.